Hey girls, welcome back to my channel. Hold on. Let me show it off real quick. Yes, if you see something way different, I did change up my hair. I went a little lighter and I did cut it really short, so it's no longer black. I feel a little bit different, but I'm digging it. Today I did this green eyeshadow look for you guys. It's a really beautiful shade. I used two palettes, the Juvias and the Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette. I did use some new products. I did try some of the Fenty products. I wanted to do something fun and vibrant before, you know, summer ends, because we are getting to fall, so you know the darker shades are coming through, y'all. So if you girls want to know how to get this look, then just keep on watching. Okay guys, so I am going to do my eyebrows last, but before I do that and go straight to the eyeshadow, I do like to apply some concealer just to kind of outline my brows. I am going to brush them upwards and then apply some concealer. I am using my MAC Studio Finish in NC20 with my Morphe M421 brush. So I'm just going to go ahead and just follow the brow all the way till the end. This is going to really highlight the brow bone as well, so that's why I put a good amount, but I do spread it around and use it as a base. I just bring it all the way down. So again, I am going to do my eyebrows last. And then just taking a fluffy brush, this is actually a blending brush, and I'm just going to go ahead and buff this concealer before we apply any type of eyeshadow. You want to make sure you blend the base first before applying any type of eyeshadow, just for a smoother application. I am going to be adding a little bit more on the lid. I am going to be using the Morphe concealer in the color Sand. This is going to be my first time using this type of concealer by Morphe. So I am going to try it out and let you girls know how I feel about it. I usually use the Tarte Shape Tape as a base, but I'm just going to be using this today. Since I am going to be working with brighter shades, I do put a good amount on the lid, just so that the colors can pop off really nicely. So once again, I'm patting the base on the lid and make sure it's well blended. I feel like it's better if you apply it with your finger and just kind of dab this product in. I'm blending it with the brush and it's just taking off my product. So just dabbing it in with your finger I think is best if you're using the Morphe concealer. Because with my Tarte Shape Tape, it doesn't give me this problem when I use it with the brush. Excuse the noise outside. They are currently cutting down some trees, so we are going to be hearing them throughout this video. So now I am going to be setting the base with a powder just so that my eyeshadows can blend smooth. So I'm applying this all over the eyes. You can use like a beige eyeshadow, nothing too dark, a little bit on the brighter side. So for today's look, I am going to be using two palettes, the Jaclyn Hill palette and also the Juvias palette. So for the Jaclyn Hill palette, this is how it looks like. So you have a variety of shades. I am going to be taking this shade right here with a fluffy brush, and I am going to be placing this in the crease. This is going to be our transition shade, so I am going to buff this in. I usually start from the end of the eye and then bring in most of the product in, and then work my way in, buffing it in circular motions. So that was just the first coat. I am going to go back, and depending how intense you want the eyeshadow, you definitely want to go back and forth, back and forth. You never want to go too heavy on the product first. So I'm just blending this, really buffing that in. Make sure there's no harsh lines. That's why it's kind of easier when you start off from little product, because buffing it in and blending it, it's much more easier. I really and highly recommend the Jaclyn Hill palette. I absolutely love this palette. I love how the colors blend. It's nothing like the other Morphe palettes. I definitely recommend it. It's one of my favorite palettes thus far by Morphe. So I'm really pushing the product outwards as well, because the excess product, I kind of place it here and then I bring in the softer product into the eye. So the first application that you add with the brush, it will be a little bit more heavy, so that's why I always make a mess at the end, because I kind of just use it as a little base just so that my eyeshadow doesn't look too rough. So next I will be using this shade right here. It's more on the orangey brighter side, so I'm going to take a good amount. And I'm going to be placing this in the outer part of the eye, kind of where the lid starts, patting it first and then working your way in circular motion. Kind of creating that deepness into the crease. I'm going to be bringing it a little bit higher up to the brow here, just because on the lid I am going to be adding a pop of color, so I do want a lot more space. So I am going to kind of just manipulate my crease a little bit, making it seem that I have a bigger lid. This is a perfect technique for my hooded eye girls as well. So you want to make sure you bring the darker shade a little bit higher, and then here you want to add more of the brighter shade to really open up your eyes. Back with my fluffier brush, I am going to be buffing out this shade a little bit more and then going back with that same shade. So pretty much going back and forth, back and forth. So now going with a more darker shade, I am going to be using this one right here. It's this shade right here, and I'm going to be taking a smaller brush. This is by Morphe. It's the M508. I am going to deepen up the crease a little bit, so I'm just going to pat it here at the end of the eye. And then carving out that crease. Have to be perfect because we are going to blend it, so this is going to be like your little guideline as to where you should go. And I'm going way above my crease, as you can see, because I'm creating that bigger space. Going in with that blending brush, I am going to go ahead and start diffusing the shade, so you don't want to have this harsh line. In small circular motion. I am going to be taking a little more of that darker shade with the fluffier brush, and I'm just buffing it in, and then I'm going to work my way in. Going back with that same light shade, I'm going to tap off the extra excess on the brush, and then starting from the end, I'm just going to go ahead and buff these harsh lines here. Just fluffing it. I'm just going to be taking a matte shade, and I'm just going to go ahead and place this here on the brow bone just to give some structure to the eye. So next I will be taking my MAC Studio Finish Concealer once again and kind of just carve out the front part of the eye with the same brush that we used for the brows. So I'm going to go ahead and just start from the beginning of the eye and then going a little bit higher than my crease. Kind of like a half cut crease.
I have to eat a lot of those.
What are you eating? She's eating Mexican candy. ¿Me quieres dar uno?
Yeah.
So I did add the base, and I'm just going to go ahead and just press in the base before I add any type of eyeshadow. So I'm just going to take a flat brush. Just pat this on. Or you can use your finger as well. Whatever is easier. So now I am going to be taking my Juvias Masquerade palette, and since I'm going for like a green, I do want to use the shade Molly, which is this shade right here. I'm going to take my Veramona double-sided brush. I'm going to use the smaller side, and I am going to be placing this all over in this area here. I'm going to go back with that same darker shade, and I'm just going to go ahead and just kind of blend the harsh lines and just slightly blending it with the green. So I am going to be applying some lashes. This is in the Satisfaction Moi. in the style DO5s. Guys, so I did end up getting the new Fenty Beauty foundation. So this is the foundation that I got. This is in the shade 250. I did try it yesterday and it was a tad bit dark for me. So I will be returning this shade, but I do want to show you girls the finish of this foundation. So if it's a little bit tad dark, then I'm just gonna let you guys see for yourself, just so you guys can get an idea. But then I'll just even it out with another shade foundation just to kind of not make it look too dark. To prime my face, I am using the Milani Make It Last spray. This has to be one of my favorite primers of all time. It's good for oily and combination skin. For my drier skin people, I would try more of a hydrating spray like the Smashbox water primer, the Mario Badescu as well. But this one is probably my favorite one for oily skin. So I'm going to place this all over my face. It's like we can't breathe. So I am going to be warming up the foundation. You gotta shake it, girl. I am going to be taking like a little brush and just distribute the foundation all over my face. So what I noticed too is that you definitely want to work with this foundation really quick because it does get dry. It's very mattifying, very mattifying. So make sure your skin is well hydrated. I'm going to take my damp beauty blender and I'm just going to go ahead and pat this foundation. What I notice about this foundation too, it does oxidize, so you want to make sure you can try getting a shade lighter because it does oxidize, so it does get darker throughout the day. So you can definitely tell a difference. A little, I mean, I'm yellow tone, but this is way too dark, but I am going to even it out like I said, but just to give you guys an idea what the 250 looks like. The coverage is there as well, so this is my second time using it. I'll give my full thoughts on it, you know, once I test it out for about a couple more tries. But I do like the coverage. I really do like it. If we're going to be talking about like MAC shades, just to give you more of like a better example, this is more like a NC, I would say NC 35. NC 35. So I am going to apply a little bit more. That was the first coat, so I am going to apply just another coat. So next to highlight, I am going to be using the Morphe concealer. This is in the shade Sand. This is my first time trying this out, so I'm going to see how it lasts under the eye. I really do like a bright under eye. I usually use my LA Girl Cosmetics, Classic Ivory, things like that to highlight under the eyes. So I'm going to try this one today. So I'm just going to apply the same amount that I usually apply with other concealers just to really see how the coverage is, if I need more, if I need less. Holy shit, that's a lot. With my damp beauty blender, I'm just going to go ahead and dab. Woo. Yeah, I used a lot. So the coverage is nice. It's not too hard to blend like the Tarte Shape Tape. I feel like the Tarte Shape Tape is so hard to blend, but this one's really nice. I'm starting to like it. This one's really nice. Okay, Morphe. Just like on my forehead. And then we're just going to even this out a little bit warmer with some contour. So, and how you really like the under eye, it's definitely up to you. I'm just a little bit extra here, so don't blame me, okay? So next I am using the LA Girl in the shade Toffee. This is probably one of my favorite shades to contour. So you definitely want to bring out those cheekbones. I'm going to be smiling a little creepy, but it's so good, you know? Really warm up my face. I don't like to put too much, but since the foundation's a little bit darker today, I'm not gonna go too ham, just a little bit. I am blending it with my BH Cosmetics brush. This is from one of their coral collections. Well, I'm assuming it's the coral collection because the brush looks coral to me, but you can definitely check out BH Cosmetics brushes. I'm pretty surprised of the brush sets that BH Cosmetics carry because they're affordable and the brushes are really good. So definitely check them out. And they're always having specials. That's what I love. Like you buy one, get one free. You buy one and get two free. Like they have crazy deals and they're really good products. So I am buffing this in with that same brush from the brush set. I love the finish of this foundation. definitely seeing it. I just wish I had the right shade, but it's all good. So I'm gonna go ahead and blend the forehead. You wanna make sure you blend this really, really well, especially the forehead area. You know what I forgot? I bought the matching stick from Fenty as well. And I used the other girl. Okay, so this will be for the next video, okay? Actually, no, let me deepen up this contour. This is in the shade Suede, so I'm just gonna put it on top of that same brush, and you guys are gonna see. With no effort, girl, and this shit blends like butter. Woo! So I am going to be setting my face with some translucent powder. This is by Benai in the shade Cameo. You could find this at camerareadycosmetics.com. That's where I get mine. So I'm just going to apply this where I added the lighter shades of concealer. I don't add so much like I used to. If you feel like this is a lot, girl, I used to put a lot more than this. So I am going to be using two bronzers today. I am going to be using the MAC Give Me Sun bronzer with this brush here. I call this the Home Depot brush, but this one is by Bdellium Tools, number 990, and this has to be one of my favorite bronzer brushes. One of my friends, Oscar, introduced me to this brush, and I absolutely love it. I cannot put this down. I bought this at OG Beauty in Scottsdale, so if you're around Arizona, you could definitely check them out. To warm it up a little bit more, I am using another favorite of mine. This is BH Cosmetics Satin Bronzer in Totally Tan. I love this bronzer, and they do have sales on this bronzer as well. And last time that I checked, it was around $4, but it was sold out. So I don't know if they have it still, but I love this bronzer. I really love BH Cosmetics in general. Like, their palettes are amazing. The prices of that brand are just affordable. Really, really check them out. I love them so much. Another product from BH Cosmetics that I love is the Floral Blushes. These hands down are such beautiful blushes, affordable as well, and this is in the color Fiji Fun. One of my other favorites is the Coral something, but these blushes are so beautiful. A little goes a long way, so make sure you apply a small amount first and work your way with it because they are super pigmented. I'm just going to go ahead and just blend the excess translucent powder. Just kind of blend it with everything together. As for highlighters, I am going to be using a liquid one. This is by Burberry. This one is probably one of my favorites, and as well as a Girlatic see-through highlighter. Today's lippy, I did use the Anastasia Beverly Hills liquid lipstick in Ashton, and then I did add a little bit of concealer to kind of just smooth it a little bit, but it turned really pink, which I'm really digging. I really love it. So, all right, girls, so this is the finished look. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you follow my social media accounts, Instagram, Snapchat. Make sure you like and subscribe. I will talk to you girls soon.